mayor's comments. Also, too, there's been some discussion about canceling township board meetings. We are required by state law to hold one meeting every 3 months. We schedule 2 meetings every month in case there is township business. If there is no township business to be conducted, we cancel that meeting. We don't want to make it look like we're adding meetings to an agenda to try and appease or do something under, backdoored or underhanded or anything like that. So that's the reason why we schedule all these meetings and the reason why we cancel them. Makes no sense to pay 4 trustees to come to a meeting when no business needs to be conducted. So I hope everybody understands that, and that's the reason for it. Time now is 7 o'clock. We'll call our meeting to order. Please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, may I have the roll call, please?
Mike Cunningham.
Here.
Kurt Schultz.
Here.
Jennifer Eden. Here. Herman Ferguson.
Here.
David Walker.
Here.
Zach Tucker.
Here.
Pam Loeffler. Here.
I want to make 2 changes to the agenda. One, we're going to pull off the item number 4, agreement with Historical Society for moving costs of Old Town Hall. That wasn't prepared right, so we're going to have that fixed. And then I want to add, in place of number 4, resolution for county broadband services.
So moved.
Mike, I have a question before we vote on that.
Yeah.
With the proposal on the agreement, can we discuss that tonight or not? If it's not going to be on the agenda, can there be any discussion on that?
Well, we won't discuss it because it's not an agenda item, but we'll discuss it at the next meeting.
That'll be August 16th.
Yeah.
We got
Well, yeah. The election. It's been motioned, supported?
Support.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Agenda's been approved. Next is approval of the consent agenda, the regular board meeting minutes, May 17th, 2022. Closed session minutes, May 17th, 2022. Treasurer's report, May 31st, 2022. Treasurer's report, June 30th, 2022. And the clerk's warrants and bills, May 11th, 2022 to July 13th, 2022.
So moved. Support.
Been motioned and supported to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Next, communications. We have 5 items. We have the Livingston County Sheriff's Report, May 31st, 2022. The Livingston County Sheriff Report, June 30th, 2022. The Fire Service Report, June 15th, 2022. The Planning Commission approved meeting minutes for May 10th, 2022, and the Planning Commission meeting synopsis from July 12th, 2022.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to receive communications and place on file. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Public remarks. This is a time for the public to make any comments about items that are on the agenda. So if you would like, please come up to the podium.
Keep it in the camera view.
Huh?
The camera.
You're addressing the board.
Okay.
So,
Good evening, Tyrone Township board members and audience. I'm Linda McFarland, a lifelong resident of Tyrone Township. I am currently president of the Tyrone Township Historical Society and have been a member since 2006. The Tyrone Township Historical Society appreciates that agreements are now part of the conversation. We advocate for respect and integrity between the Tyrone Township Historical Society and elected officials. However, we would like the Township Board and the community of supporters to know that the agreement that was removed from tonight's agenda is in no way an agreement at all. The Historical Society was not part of any discussion, negotiation, or drafting process before this was presented to the board for a vote. In fact, it came as a surprise that this document was part of tonight's board agenda. We fully expect the Township Board to want to be informed to ensure the correctly. We would welcome the opportunity to come to the table and draft an agreement that protects the interests of both parties and would respectfully like our attorney to view any draft documents before they are signed. If effective negotiations are going to take place, the fair committee, including at least one trustee, and our townhouse committee need to be named by the Township Board at tonight's Township Board meeting. Negotiations need to also be scheduled immediately and with a determination deadline for agreement upon draft to be presented to the Township Board by the August 16th, 2022 board meeting. We cannot afford to lose another moment of time. Our timeline over the past 14 months demonstrates a need for immediate Township Board involvement and action. We would like to remind the Township Board of the unanimously passed August 18th, 2022 resolution that stated in part that, quote, Township will manage and oversee any efforts to relocate the townhouse, end of quote. We urge Township Board members to ask questions tonight as to why there have been no actions taken to follow through on this resolution. We would also like to remind the Township Board of the renewed easement with Mr. Martin that establishes a deadline of March of 2023 to have the building removed from his property. This is less than 8 months away, not accounting for the challenges of winter weather. For these reasons, we would like to express sincere concern for the absence of actionable steps on the part of the Township Board to move this project forward effectively. There have been numerous meetings, virtual promises to have a project plan, budget, and to draft an agreement collaboratively. None of this has been completed by the Township Board despite our many requests, and knowing about the easement deadline. Inactions such as this will not allow this project to be successful. Thank you.
hey, Linda, I think you're kind of jumping the gun. Phil has prepared a scope of work for this, as he said he would. We have.
But Mike, on April 19th, 2022, you said you would have it in 30 days. We have it in writing that would be in 30 days, and it's now July, not April.
Well, okay.
And nothing has come to light of that, okay?
And as far as that contract, we pulled it off, and it's not saying that anything we do in a contract, we have to approve as a board. And we did present it to you, and we were gonna talk about it at that meeting. So don't think that we're not including you, we're not talking to you, so.
But like the April meeting, you said 30 days, and we heard nothing. So let's do it, okay?
We have it.
Okay, we'll do it. Thank you.
My name is Tom Ringen. I have been a resident of Tyrone Township for 81 years this October. I'm also the treasurer of the Historical Society. We would like to remind the Township Board that the Historical Society has been asking for an agreement in the form of a memorandum of understanding to detail responsibilities for both parties since May of 2021. That's 14 months ago. Now we need your support in the form of Township Board actions. We have been asking for a project plan, budget and agreement for well over a year now, including the past 6 months after the resolution unanimously passed stating the township would manage and oversee these efforts. Not one of these promises has come true, which gives us great pause as to whether township management and oversight in this case is intended to help or hinder the project's success. We'd like to know why, despite repeated attempts, meetings, and requests, and a resolution, we do not have township board participation. We'd like to hear from the township board tonight about how they plan to ensure this project isn't being stalled. What solutions and answers do you have? How would you suggest moving forward? If the township does not have an action plan that includes a realistic budget and meets the deadline of March 2023, then we would respectfully ask you to consider relinquishing yourselves of responsibility in project management to allow us to continue our path toward completing this project independently and on time as we are prepared to do. And I'll say one personal thing. Right now, today, tomorrow, the foundation should be poured out here on this property to get ready for the move. The cement should be done now, not 6 months from now, not in January when it's cold. Now is the time to be doing it now to get the foundation in there. If it's cement blocks, fine. If it's 42 inches down, fine. But it should be done now.
Hello, I'm Pamela Hebner. I am a member of the Tyrone Township Historical Society, and I have been a township resident for 28 years. And right now I'm going to go over the timeline of the events over the past 14 months, and just bear with me while I read this over here. Early May 2021, we first acquired about the status and plan for the township house. May 10th, 2021, asked for our project to be added to the township board agenda for review. Request denied. May 18th, 2021, trustee David Walker stated in a board meeting that we needed a scope of work and budget. The board agreed to establish a townhouse committee. No committee was ever established because we were not given the option to negotiate on how to do it fairly. So the Historical Society formed their own committee to get the project rolling. No scope of budget were directed by the township board. May 24th, 2021, discussion and request for a drafted memorandum of understanding. Request denied. June 2nd, 2021, first meeting with the township engineer. July 2021, a township sponsored survey was approved by the township board. July 2021, the Historical Society petitioned and gathered over 400 signatures in a couple of short weeks in support of moving the township house. Thank you.
All right, before we go on any further, let me say it again. This public comment is for agenda items. There seems to be
It was on the agenda.
Second public comment?
The fiscal sponsorship is on the agenda.
That's right, it's on there.
And Mr.
Yeah, and
Conrad, when I
that-
came
but-
to the meeting, I came with the understanding that
Exactly.
this was on the
Yep.
agenda.
Yes.
Yeah, but we removed the legal agreement.
Not a
That's
time
what we're
to
speaking toward, every time we make a step forward.
Why?
I'd like to continue with the timeline, January 4th, 2022. The supervisor agreed that the township would retain ownership of the townhouse and continue to insure and maintain the building. The Historical Society was also told that the township engineer would draft a project plan and budget and that the township attorney would draft an agreement for review. No project plan, budget, or agreement was drafted or received. January 18th, 2022, the township board passed a resolution stating the township would manage and oversee any relocation efforts of the townhouse. March 2022, our second project plan draft and a detailed budget was submitted to the township board. The supervisor stated that he would manage the project. No actionable steps were taken to do so. The Historical Society decided that we would again write our own project plan, budget, and work toward the move ourselves. April 19th, 2022. The supervisor stated that he and the township engineer would be managing the project and that they would write a project plan and budget within 30 days of the meeting. No project plan or budget was drafted or received, no explanation given as to why. May 11th, 2022. Historical Society officers and Townhouse Committee members met with Mr. John Martin. His message was clear. Don't wait for the township to put plans in place. Bring the funds to the table and the conversation will change. You have until March of 2023 to move the building and you can no longer wait on the township. Tonight's agenda previously listed under new business an agreement with the Historical Society. The Historical Society was never part of this draft or part of drafting this document through discussion, meetings, or negotiation.
My name is Sarah Jersey, and I'm a member of the Historical Society and been working on the Townhouse Committee for the last 14 months. Through all of this, we continue to take decisive actions to keep this project moving forward. We have diversified fundraising efforts. We are drafting a site plan in order to apply for a land use permit. We consulted with an architect. We've obtained contractor quotes in writing and had a reputable building mover come out and see the building in person. We built support through community outreach. To date, we've raised nearly $35,000 to reach our phase 1 goal to move the historic building to the Runyon Lake Road location. We remain steadfast and focused. We are committed to preservation of local history and to the community. We believe we have more than earned credibility through our actions. We hope the Township Board will also take necessary actions tonight to ensure our mutual success. This is what we're asking in summary of our Township Board. We're asking for you to intervene, support, and find solutions that will enable us to meet the March of 2023 historic townhouse moving deadline. We are asking you to take swift action to ensure this project moves forward. We are asking you to immediately form a Township Board committee with 2 specific tasks. 1, drafting an agreement regarding the move of the historic townhouse. Parties involved should discuss, deliberate, and draft an agreement, first and foremost, for the Township Board to review. The drafted agreement should be completed and prepared for board review no later than the next scheduled township meeting, which is August 16th of 2022. We would like the committee to meet at least bi-weekly to collaborate, manage, and oversee the progress of the relocation of the townhouse as approved by the January 18th, 2022 resolution. This part's important. The committee must be fair. It should include at least 3 township board members and a minimum of 1 trustee to work alongside our townhouse committee. The township board should immediately name committee members so there is time to coordinate meetings and fully prepare for the August 16th board meeting. Note, it is imperative that the board meeting take place as scheduled and that without a doubt, the matter of the townhouse agreement be included on the agenda. There is business that urgently needs to be attended on this project. Continued delay in the management and oversight of the relocation of the historic townhouse is jeopardizing the January 18th, 2022 resolution and pushing closer to the March 2023 deadline.
Scott Dietrich, White Lake Road. This is a story about a small community built a townhouse. You guys know what it took to build a townhouse? They cut the trees down, hauled them to Flint back then. You have some of these people that build these homes around here. Cut the trees and the horse, they drug the logs up there in Flint, had them sawn, brought it back and built that building. Later down the road, the property was donated for a new townhouse. People, they came together as a community, said, we're gonna move the townhouse, we want it on townhouse property. So it happened. Becomes the community property of the township people. So one day we have a meeting here, the supervisor asked, we need to do town hall. A lot of people said, yeah, we can agree with that. And next thing you know, whiz bang boom, we got it. And the other one was sold. I never seen anything go through so fast in my life. Without nothing from the community. Just boom, it happened. I never seen it, I'm sorry. But the old one was sold. No one had any input on that, I didn't see nothing on it. The building still belonged to us. Supervisors, the board members, I mean, I don't know who's involved in this, I don't know who's here. They sold it. Go look at the insured value of the building. I sold real estate. I had a builder's license. The building had value. What they sold that old town building homes, the old township hall for, doesn't reflect the price of the townhouse. And when we first started this project, they were willing to just leave it there. And John had an agreement with them, we're gonna let you use it.
Would you be able to unmute for online?
We're gonna let the historical society use it for maybe 2 days a month. It was our building. It's too bad our representation just told the people to go to hell and didn't want to move the building. After they sold everything, I mean, it was ours. I mean, I just don't understand how legally this has all been done. I guess the problem with our township lawyer is he's spent more time trying to get around the people, and they're not representatives, I'm sorry. But to these minutes, there's a lot of things on some of these. We come here, we spend 2 hours. I know there's a little bit of chatter, but we got a big crowd here tonight. But there's not that much chatter to go as long as we do. I mean, there should have been a few more meetings. I'm tired of the excuses. And the agenda tonight, you said it was a mistake. It's not a mistake. Everything's coming last minute. Last minute, that was a mistake. Yeah, it was a mistake already. They got out there. We know. It's just stall tactics. We're tired of it. I speak for myself. I'm not speaking for I'm a member of the Historical Society, but I wasn't set up here to speak for the Historical Society. Speaking for myself. I know I got family members here, their families here for a long time, guys. And it just, everything's been done wrong. John hit the deal right on the head when he told him in the meeting, the township's not doing anything. And when that man tells us something, he sees it too. And it's just too bad.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Jeanette Lopetta, Fuller Drive. I also represent a group, Tyrone Township Watch. I'm going to put this on the public site so everybody can see, because I've been following Mr. Cunningham as he's listened to the speakers, and most of the time he's been laughing.
Yeah.
Smirk on his face. I don't know what's so funny. You looked at me, you made a face at me. I'm sure you got a big surprise. So please go to Tyrone Township on Facebook, and I'll put it on the public site so that you can all see it. Also, it's not fair to the people to have something on an agenda, you put it on Thursday, and usually you don't get the agenda out till maybe the day before. And we've shared it with everybody, and we've shared it with all these people here to say, come to the meeting. That's why they're here. It's not fair that you change an agenda. You can do whatever you want, I guess. But you know what? You don't work for you. You work for us. We pay your salary, you work for the people. And everyone on the board here, you don't work for Supervisor Cunningham, you work for us. I know that sounds mean, It might even sound rude, but it's the truth. And we're tired. We want the board to stand up and do what's right. I have something to say about, and you're smirking again at me. I have something to say about the resolution that he pushed through last time. I will speak on that. But you guys better know that those meeting minutes are inaccurate, and if you vote to pass them through and say, yes, they're accurate, you're knowingly putting a public document out there for the public to see as a government official with inaccurate information. And last time I looked, Zach, maybe you can confirm, that's a crime to put out information as a public official and say this is true, especially when you know about it. It's not a crime, Mike? Maybe that's why you keep doing it.
Anyone else? Moving on to new business, we have the Gager zoning, did I say that correctly, Gager?
Yes, correct, thank you.
Gager zoning map amendment. You want to take that first?
Sure. This is intended to be a request to go from RF to RE on the corner of Foley Road. Planning Commission held a meeting on May 10th.
Foley and Runyon Lake, correct?
I'm sorry?
Foley and Runyon Lake.
Yes, Foley and Runyon Lake. To support a favorable recommendation for the change. We reviewed the materials by our consultant, and the change, which would allow 7 lots to be produced in this piece of land as opposed to 5 under RF. It would go to RE where 7 could be made out of the piece of property there. So, based on the planner's comments, specifically that the proposed zoning is consistent and compatible with the zoning, and it's a relatively small change and would not have an impact, negative impact to public services, and the fact that there's a significant demand for new lots, and it's consistent with the master plan, it was put through and passed. It then went to the county, and they also approved it. So we're recommending that this in fact be approved.
Now, I believe the site plan showed that there were some lot divisions, and they were gonna be 2.5 acres.
Can I take the vote?
Sure. Kevin Gager, 10377 Summit Road, and the applicant for this request. What's the question again, Mike? The FR zoning you're going from to RE allows for 1.75 acre lots, and the site plan that I looked at shows you're gonna have 2.5 acre lots?
Correct.
Okay, just wanna correct, it's FR zoning, not RF, but.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't want to get it correctly, but he's human.
Under that zoning, you are allowed 3 acre minimums, and what I'm proposing under the RE is 1.75 minimum. The lots are going to, they're going to average out to 2.53 acres. It's basically a 15% reduction by area from the FR zoning to the RE zoning. As I indicated to the planning commission, I wouldn't even be proposing this if it wasn't master planned this way, and this is, I'm not trying to circumvent the system or anything like that. It's
How it's written, right?
well, the master plan
How
also,
it's written.
yeah, and like I explained to them also, I am a resident here, this is basically my backyard, it's something I want to do a quality job with, I'm not looking to put lots, put modular homes on them or something like that. It's something that I hope will be an asset to my community. So that's why I took it, and to be honest, I wanted to do it before somebody else did that would do something that might be substandard, to be honest.
Appreciate it. anybody have any questions for him? No. And the lots that are across the street are RE zone as well. Yeah,
What was the total area of acreage there?
17.73 acres.
You put 7 houses?
Correct, so 2.53 acres per so lot. Density. The RE does allow it to go down to 1.75, but with the configuration of the 200-foot width, it makes sense to do the 2.53.
I haven't got a question.
any other questions, any comments? Do we want to have a motion on that?
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned and supported to approve the zoning map amendment for Mr. Gager. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? That motion carries. Item number 2 is the Michigan Townships Association dues and invoice approval. We belong to Michigan Townships Association. They're an educational group for us. They're a lobby group for townships. We've been a member of them every year. This is our renewal.
So moved.
Support.
Been motioned and supported to renew our Michigan Township Association's membership. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? That motion carries. Item number 4, there's a plan for the county to do some broadband work. And it leaves out residents. It's, they want to run some trunk lines. It's for education, law enforcement, police and fire. And, you know, we don't have a school here, we don't have police and fire, it kind of leaves us out of it. Mark Fosdick, he was an attorney, he's also a supervisor at Kahaka, drafted a resolution that basically says they'd like the county to use some ARPA funds for grants to help some of our residents in rural areas get connected, whether they work with their trunk line or they work with their current cable service provider. But we still have you know, quite a few residents, especially down along Dent Hill area, that don't have internet.
That's proposal number, this new business number 4. 3 is propane.
Oh, I jumped, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did. So let's back up and we'll go to propane. Go back over that, yeah. Thank you. Propane, pre-buy quotes for Township Hall, we have to have propane to heat it. What was that?
Hamilton's propane is 2.0499, pre-buy fixed rate until May of 2023. And Suburban propane is a price of $1.99 a gallon for the first fill and a locked-in price of $2.09 through April 30th of 2023. And they have no maximum minimums and no pre-buy.
So which one do you recommend doing?
I recommend staying with the Hamilton's propane. That's who we have now.
Any comments or questions?
First fill is just one tank,
Yes,
so I'm sure we use more than one tank.
yes. And last year we pre-bought from Hamilton's 3,000 gallons, and our last fill up in April was not included, so I think we would do 3,500.
Jennifer, how big a tank do we have? Is it 1,000?
1,000.
I make the
Why don't
motion.
we do, hold on, before we make a motion. Why wouldn't we go 4,000 gallons? So we've got 4 fill-ups.
Well, they don't always come with 1,000, when I empty when they come.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So they bring usually 700 to 800 gallons, I think. Terry? I think it's about, I think it's 9. We're on like a
Yeah, go ahead.
fill basis and,
What's the biggest tank we could get? Is it 1,000? Could we get something bigger?
I don't know that they would put 2 out there.
But the tanks, the biggest they have are
It's
1,000.
1,000,
Okay.
yes. I think they're
I've tried to get a bigger tank for my office, in thousands of years.
Mike, I can answer why it's not 1,000 gallons for you. They don't fill to the top. They only go to 85%.
Yeah.
They never go to 100%.
No, I guess my question is, why would we pre-buy 3,500 when we can buy pre-buy?
Because that's,
Would they credit?
Or,
it just credits
Just
it.
curious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
carries
it's
over.
cheaper, no, that's pretty reasonable.
Well, they're both anticipating rates to drop.
okay.
Essentially, pre-buy what we think we're going to use.
So make a motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion to go stay with Hamilton's propane.
It's been motioned and supported to stay with Hamilton Propane and pre-buy our propane for the year. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those in opposition, motion carries. Next is the agreement with the historical.
Oh, yes it is.
Yes. Resolution for broadband.
He removed it.
So basically, let's start over again. County has a trunk line that they want to put in. It doesn't include any residential housing. It's for schools, it's for law enforcement, fire, etc. We feel that, you know, if they're gonna use some of the ARPA funds, that we'd like to see some of those ARPA funds go to the township so we can, you know, work out grants or and such to help those residents that can't get connected because due to the high cost or whatever. You know, kind of work with charter to extend service to their houses. So that's what this is. It's nothing more than a mere request of the county to take it into consideration.
So would this be they're not connecting to the trunk line that the county is putting in, then this would just be grants to have like Charter or AT&T or whomever their existing.
Or if the trunk line is in their area, they can connect to it.
Okay,
So.
okay. I was just curious, I would love to see more fiber optic, and I think this is fiber optic.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know, and you know, it's just us throwing our hat in the ring saying, hey, look, don't forget about us either. Yeah.
So is the trunk line already in, or is that being put in?
I don't know how much infrastructure is already in. But they do have a plan for maybe.
Yeah, I see the loop, I just wondered if they had started on it yet.
I'll make the resolution.
Okay.
Support?
It's been resolved and supported to seek American Rescue Plan ARPA funds via grant for high-speed internet. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, you can. Mike Cunningham,
Yes.
Kurt Schultz,
Yes.
Jennifer Eden. Yes. Herman Ferguson,
Yes.
David Walker,
Yes.
Zach Tucker,
Yes.
Pam Mockler. Yes.
Next agenda item is request for fiscal sponsorship of the Historical Society. Jennifer.
I was brought this request from the Historical Society. They're trying to get grants, funding to move the Old Town House, which is great. They have, going through, and Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong, going through the funding process, the grant process. I have not been a 501c3 for over a year, so they cannot get the funding from this certain participation themselves. So they're asking us to be their government, what is it called, right? Sponsor? Sponsor. Yeah, fiscal sponsor. The board is okay with it. We checked in, checked a couple of questions, our attorney, talked to a Greg, which is in, that little organization. I think we just have to get the wording right, so the township, I mean, I can house the funds, like our, what is the word I was looking at?
Is it held in trust?
It would be.
No, it's CD, it would be like
You the custodian?
escrow. so it's like an escrow fund. It would not accumulate, interest. Escrow funds are not township funds, so we cannot accrue interest on them. And I do believe if they do not raise the funds that entitle them to that grant, then we have to send the money back to the grantor. Is that correct, Sarah?
If we don't, raise enough money to complete the phase one, let me see that.
Okay.
If we don't make our goal of phase one to move the building off John Martin's property, we're unsuccessful on our end, then the funds you're holding for us toward that project would be returned to the source. It's Livingston County Community Fund. So there's really no contingent liability for the township. You're just holding the money until it's necessary to use or sending it back.
Right.
Well, that's a no-brainer, so I'll go ahead and make a make a motion to go ahead and sponsor the Historical Society and pending, be their fiscal sponsor pending attorney review of language.
Support.
Support, or second, I'm sorry.
It's been motioned and supported to be the fiscal sponsor for this Historical Society pending the attorney approving the language. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the motion carries. We don't have any miscellaneous business, so we'll open it up for public remarks again. If anyone wants to make public remarks, please come up.
I just want to go back to the townhouse, and I know you're pulling it. I can only go by what was in the paper we saw. We have a zoning administrator. We have a company, we can pull permits. We don't need them, they didn't need to buy a paying engineer to do what qualified people know what they're doing. The man that's moving the building is more than qualified. He did a building in Holiday, from what I understand. When it gets to that time to do electrician, we got permits. They got license to do it. Once it gets on the property after that, hand-on work is going to be done by the community. I, for one, can do carpenter work. I, for one, can do cleanup. It's just going to be hands-on work from the community after that. Get the funds and do it. It's not that difficult. But to pay an engineer to look, I had builder's license. I know it takes an engineer when you're restructuring a building, but not to move a building. I mean, come on. The man already was structurally sound. I want to apologize to our police officers for your time being wasted for protecting our community, because this is ridiculous. They were requested to be here. I think we should be charged a fireman for each time you call the board. Sorry. You're not being fair. No one's gonna come, as big as I am, I might disagree with you. I'm not gonna let anybody get hurt up there. I'm gonna stand up for my community. You're not my enemy. You're my community. Okay? I think these people feel the same way. I don't think they want to hurt you. They might be mad, they might be upset. But two officers, come on, a little overkill.
Good point.
I want to speak, Mike. May I speak?
Sure.
I think you guys owe them a huge apology. I saw I saw.
Oh, is that allowed?
There you go, was that allowed?
Can I just say,
You can finish.
Scott,
Talking about them clapping.
because you guys are attacking these people. And Scott, the stuff you guys said on the planning commission was me. It's me. I'm not an elected official. I send the emails out. I do the
She
the
signs them.
websites. So what?
She's responsible.
She has been here for 3 months, and you have, but you know what? I have the stuff here. That wasn't a hyperlink. It was underlined. All
It
of
said
these
click
things-
here.
Here you go. It didn't say click here. Here it is. Here it is. It didn't say that. All of these things were correct. You guys don't understand the process. I've been here 16 years. I'm capable. I'm qualified. These people are all capable and qualified. They are not working for you. They are elected officials representing the entire township. It doesn't matter if you guys, they don't have to listen to just you or you. And you guys are very belittling, and I think if anyone has ever come in here and talked to any of us, we have been extremely nice and respectful. Jeanette, I have been.
Yes, you have been. I agree with
Then
you.
why are you attacking poor Pam? You sit here
You know what?
telling-
This is, I'm being asked questions, and again, why am I being asked
You know
questions?
why?
You know what?
Let me
Stop.
explain.
Let me finish here. This township board, we have people that, most everybody here has a college degree. We have business.
So what?
We have consultants. We have legal professions. You guys got a heck of a deal for what you have up here and what we do for our community. We didn't get into this business. Yeah, put this out on
I
your
am.
little social media page.
My
We
little
didn't get
social media
involved in
page?
this. Get your little social media page.
Okay.
Put the theater out there. That's what you want. Here you go.
Settle down.
We did not get involved in our community to fight with our residents. We're here to help. And half the time you guys come up here, because you don't talk to us, you don't get the facts, and then you fly off the handle. And then sometimes there's people that come and talk to us and ask for the facts, and then they twist them, so they can create more theater. So, I urge any of you to come in and talk to us. We're here. You know, I'm still trying to figure out who sent me the email telling me that there was a request for a proposal, because I haven't seen it. And I'm gonna go back and check. But rather than pick up the phone and say, hey, Mike, what's going on? You wanna come up here and create theater. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I expect that if you want something from your township board that you're not getting, pick up the phone, come see us.
Call.
How many times have I called and he doesn't call me back or email, and he doesn't email me
You
back?
understand, this is the purpose of this meeting is for us to conduct business.
We didn't sell the
If you
township
want-
hall.
Let me finish. You had your
Who
3
sold the
minutes.
township hall?
And
What
you
are
were
gonna
at
say
those
to me?
meetings, Scott.
No, I was at some of them. Listen.
That went on for over a year.
Yeah, well, you
Long
didn't send
time.
out no surveys, but anyways, hold on. Your own rules, these are your own rules. Yep, Jerry, just come in here and, you said no, you didn't want nobody in this audience directing comments back and forth between yourselves. But
I'm doing this
She's
on
not
my
a
own.
resident.
I'm trying to
She's
tell
not even
you,
a resident, I'm
Scott.
sorry.
She's
But
not
I'm
a
a
registered
deputy,
voter,
and
so
I'm
she gets her
Scott.
3 minutes.
And I'm
whatever,
the
I'm
one
saying,
who did
I'm not
all the
listening.
things that you perceived as mistakes.
No, it's
I thought,
not.
When I'm
I
trying to
thought I was
tell
being
you.
respectful. I'm bringing up some facts, that I know this
Listen.
facts.
Well, then, will you listen? You sat here and attacked Pam and said she had no qualifications. She's been a chairperson for our elections. Anyone who's done elections as a chairperson
When did I say she had no qualifications?
at the planning commission meeting. And then
Yeah, I
you
said-
say, she just does this.
Oh, the only thing I knew when she got elected, appointed, was she did elections. She closed the
Well,
things
let me
out.
just say
But
that
I
I've
was
been
talking
here.
about- Well, you know, listen, I had no horse in this.
All right,
race.
are we done here? Who else has got public comments?
Stay on it. You shut up.
Oh my gosh, but she can get away with it. Unbelievable.
Both, all of you, stop.
Stop.
Unreal.
Sarah,
I'm gonna go on the fly for a sec, okay? First, the reference is in our prepared comments tonight to having no project plan in scope. I heard you at the start of the meeting say that now there is some type of scope, and I want the board to know, we just weren't aware of that, right? It's something we've been asking for a long time, okay? I wanna clear that up, sounds like now there's a scope. We'll work from there, okay? Second of all, I wanna thank the board and Mike for the fiscal sponsorship. We are working so hard to diversify our fundraising, and that is one step forward. But I can't tell you how many hours I lost track that I have spent on working with these officers, helping them put into writing what they wanted to communicate to all of you tonight. We're still walking away with no committee. We're still walking away with, I don't even know where negotiations go for now. The next board meeting is another
we're gonna
Um,
meet
month
with
away.
them shortly, and we'll.
Okay, and progress because the pressure's on, we're running out of time. That's all we're trying to do.
We can make the progress happen, you just have to raise the funds.
We're working our
So,
asses off.
keep going.
Okay.
I mean, you're doing a good job, keep
Okay.
going.
At any rate, I wanted to thank you on the fiscal sponsorship. And I just want to say this, guys. We have John Martin over here who's waited for almost 3 years to have that building off his property. He's been gracious, he's been patient. You have this group of people out here working tirelessly. I mean, more than a full-time job with 4 kids right now, that's what I'm putting in on this. We're willing to raise the money, we're willing to do the work. We're putting our heart and souls into this. We just need you to come together. It's a community. Jennifer lives around the corner from me. I see Zach's kids at Uncle Ray's. What's going on out here? This is not okay. We have to get past this, guys. We all live together here. All of us. We have to just, enough with the drama and get focused on the problem.
Bravo.
Anyone else? All right. we can have-
Hang on, is this the last public comment?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll get up. Can you do this? Thank you.
I'm not even sure what I'm gonna say, but Jeanette Lopetta, Fuller Drive. I have never wanted to have a relationship with, in this manner, with public officials, ever. What I started out doing, and you won't know this, but what I started out doing was trying to prevent the asphalt plant from coming into our community. From that day, and you talk about being, about attacks. I've been attacked. So you don't, okay, pardon me?
I've seen these.
What's that?
I've seen these. You know why I actually spoke was because I'm not an elected official. I don't care if you can't elect me, I don't care what you do to me, but you are being horrible to these people.
Why am I being horrible when I'm asking?
It affects me. I've been here 16 years and I was ready to walk out. Go ahead.
Okay, and first of all, for the record, I mean, even tonight, Terry, how are you doing? I have nothing against Terry. I've never said anything derogative towards you. I've asked for clarity on certain things, like meeting minutes, on announcements that come out. That's all I ask. I send an email, doesn't get answered. Mike, you talk about calling. How many messages have I left you to call me? How many emails have I sent you and you've never answered them? Many. They're all in my inbox, so I can show those as well. And I know several other people. So you say call us? It doesn't work that way, apparently. You had your previous clerk sit up there and say horrible things about me and horrible things about someone else in this room. Okay, and you always sigh when you say that. Everything she said was not true. And well, what does that look for?
Free.
Free? What does free mean? It's a free look?
Sure. Keep going.
So what she said was not true. I asked you many times if you would rescind those comments, if you would let your board know that that's not appropriate for someone to use their position of power to attack a resident. And you've never done anything about that. So I'm not here to attack people, Terry. I'm here, sorry, board, whoever I'm supposed to be talking to. I'm sorry. I'm here because I want to help the community. I want to do things to help. Herman, you know, we connected early on before this when we found out that the township, what was happening with it. You said last week, you stood up for me with the resolution, what was going on with that. You know that I'm a good person. Marcia Dix is allowed to get up here and say what a bad person I am. She's an appointed official. Why is that allowed? I don't think I've ever said anybody's a bad person up here. All I've asked for is clarity, transparency. I've asked questions. I've made suggestions even. And it just gets knocked down and I get accused of being this mean person. If you don't like my attitude, well, you know what, or the way I speak, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about that. This is me, this is how I communicate. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm open to that. Nobody's corrected me on anything that I've been wrong with. And by the way, a reminder, the minutes that you're about to approve, did you already approve the minutes? I thought that came before the public comments, but, there's mistakes in there having to do with that resolution. Please don't approve those minutes. Thank you.
You should be able to.
Yes.
Mrs. Carlin. Hello. Okay. I'm in Harlan, live on Hartley Road. The Beckers were some of the first settlers in this area, and I am a Becker. I'm here this evening to help preserve and cherish our townhouse. Our historic townhouse is the only historical building left in Tyrone Township. It was designated as a historical site by the state of Michigan. It was and is a place to bring a community of people together. The townhouse provided a space where gatherings of all sorts, meetings, picnics, and elections were held. My parents voted in that building. This was the common thread that brought this small community together. There are residents living in this community today whose lives have been committed to caring for this building, and I am one of them. But most importantly, preserving the stories and moments that came with that are memorable, its history at its best. These are the same people who have archived and protected our legacies, both written and verbal. Isn't this the fabric of who we are as a community? Isn't it the lives we've lived and the moments we have shared together that weave this unique tapestry of who we are as collective residents of this township? Our township officials have moved into the new building here on Runyon Lake Road, and the previous township hall was sold. But the Tyrone Township Historical Society is determined to save this historic 1887 township building. Unfortunately, the window of opportunity to preserve this piece of Tyrone Township history has been extended so we can seek funds for this project. To many, the townhouse is a fundamental piece of history that represents the very core of who we are. It's a treasure not to be lost or forgotten, but to be cherished, preserved, and protected. The people that built and served this community for decades deserve to be remembered with this preservation of the townhouse, that their dedication to this community was and is not in vain. The thing we must understand is that once this building is lost, it is something that can't be replaced. I ask that we all come together and help preserve this beautiful building and its legacy. We want local history to be restored, preserved, and that we learn from it. Don't forget, looking back is history. The townhouse deserves a place in the community to be admired and appreciated right here on Runyon Lake Road. Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. So report. The motion is to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye.